Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, fighting crime is a collective effort. Recently, it was revealed that Google Maps will not include crime hotspots from their recommended routes. In a country where crime continues to tick upward, combating the scourge has never been more important. Recent statistics show that South Africa ranks 7th in the world and 3rd in Africa for mafia-style criminal networks and organized crime. In Gauteng, government is calling on private security to help combat high crime. Our reporter Hloni Mtimkulu is tackling that story for us and has been talking to ordinary South Africans about how safe they feel on our streets. Hloni, you also spoke to institutions such as the ISS, for instance. What is it that we're doing wrong, according to those experts you've spoken to?
Yeah, Masako, so the questions or the issues that are being brought up around what is happening or what is not going right. Well, first of all, the policy brief that the ISS has, they say that actually it's not totally impossible to address crime in the country, but that there's a need for leadership as well as for evidence-based methods to address this. But, they sort of point out a variety of issues that do come up. For example, there's socioeconomic issues, but they say that's not the only issue that is causing this increase in crime. But the issues around the availability, accessibility of guns as well, that it seems that for whatever reason or however it does happen, that guns are quite easily accessible to criminals. So that's obviously also an issue. We did also went around and spoke to normal South Africans like you and me about this. And I just want to read something before we get to them, that according to, so this is from the crime stats that were released in August, according to the Governance, Public Safety and Justice survey that was for 2022-23, the percentage of adults aged 16 years and older who felt safe walking alone in their neighborhoods dropped a little bit from 81.3% in 2021-22 to 80.8% in 2022-23. Now, like whatever the numbers mean, the point is that people don't necessarily feel safe walking around their neighborhoods because of the risk of a crime happening to them, whether it is someone pickpocketing you or someone grabbing your phone, or if you go to, for example, a mall, how safe or not you feel. And so we spoke to South Africans around just in terms of how they are feeling. Of course, we have the festive season that's coming up. We've noted already that there has been an increase in, for example, cash and transit heists. And we've obviously seen over the years that around this time and going into late November and into early December, that, there is the spike in cash and transit heists. And people are already saying that they're feeling unsafe. Some of them have said to us that actually we're trying to see other ways of doing December where we're not out as much as we can and trying to do more inward stuff and staying inside. Others are saying, but there's nothing you can do. What can you do? Because you still need to get out there, So it's such different people take it differently, but it's something that all of the people that we spoke to, and we spoke to a number of people, agree that they're just not feeling safe. But let us hear from some of those people now, Masaho.
We don't feel safe anymore because the crime is too high in South Africa. We talk about housebreaking, we talk about hijacking cars, we talk about everything, I think we feel like if the government can try to do something about it, we'll be okay.
We're definitely not feeling safe. It's made us want to stay home a lot more and to make more improvements at home with family members. We are still not feeling very safe. We'd like someone to help us, especially from the government.
No. I'm not feeling safe toward the season because nowadays, as we look, there is a lot of hijackings which are happening nowadays, and I'm afraid that as December is coming, you're gonna be in a big trouble as an Uber driver.
I'm not feeling safe about crime at all. We're all suffering from the same problems. In fact, on Friday I leave to go to Cape Town, hoping that it might be a bit better there, but that's not the only reason.
There's no South African who doesn't feel safe at this particular moment, and I think in terms of safety measures that one needs to put in place, just to make sure that wherever you go, you just alert the people, your close family and friends of where you're going, just so that should anything happen to you, then they're aware where you are. I mean, our cars are not safe in South Africa. Quite a lot of people are going to be traveling over the festive period, so I think it's just important to just make sure that people know where you are.
And I like that she gave advice there, Hloni, in terms of what you could do, especially this festive season when you're traveling. What else are people suggesting we do to keep safe, especially during the festive season?
Yeah, so we spoke to Beagle Watch, a private security firm, and actually the MD of the branch where we were at, Andre Ayton, he says that every time, and this is something that he's been talking about for months and years now, that every time they go on a call out and we know they've been called out for a robbery or something that's happened or an incident that has happened, he says they notice how complacent or how lax security is. So or sometimes when they're driving around, they'll see that people's doors are open or people's gates have been left open, and so they are calling for people to be a little bit more cautious given the sort of times that we're living in, that they are saying that be mindful of sort of your surroundings, be mindful of how you present your house to robbers, because they are watching you as well. So if you're leaving things open, you know, that's obviously a safety issue. He said that, you know, since COVID, he gave us a bit of context. He says before COVID, crime, obviously there was crime, but things are so different now, and the types of crimes that happen are so different, and just the nature of it is so different now. And he was saying that he expects that there will definitely be so much more crime this time around, urging people to be vigilant and urging them to be very much more mindful, because just he says that things have changed. And I don't know if, obviously, because they work with these things all the time, they see them all the time, it just felt very chilling in some ways to just hear someone who works with crime and who sees all of these incidents. And he says every single day they get a call, and you can only imagine sort of if you know people, if you're in WhatsApp groups, the sorts of things, the messages that are going around, if you have friends who have been victims of crime. I mean, it's such a real and everyday thing that there is always something that is happening in terms of crime. But let us hear from Andre Ayton from Beagle Watch in terms of how bad the situation is and what they're expecting ahead of the festive season.
So I think this festive season is certainly going to give us some highlights. I'm urging people to be ready and to be prepared, because often we find that crime is touching on the individuals who are complacent and don't think that they haven't been touched by crime and therefore I don't need to put any plans in place. I'm urging residents, and just from experience, I'm telling you that this festive season is probably going to be quite different, because we are struggling with open areas, open plains, open parks where people have crept in and moved in. We all know that this is actually uncontrollable at this stage, and that does bring a level of crime into our footprint. It does create petty types of crimes, and I can only imagine when the house is empty because you're away on holiday, that it's just going to accelerate even more. We don't have an idea of the load shedding schedules in terms of coming up to Christmas, and I'm sure many homes are going to be in darkness. Not only that, you might have somebody that's looking after your home and you're prepared to let that person come in the dark hours of the night. And again, crime is at an all-time high. I don't think we need to hide behind it, not at all. If we look at the recent incidents that have taken place on individuals, we're at an all-time high.
All right, Hloni Mtimkulu reporting for us in Johannesburg.